Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande, Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prestaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane, Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharini, Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschacha Deshatari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nastaya Treshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So I'm told you're speaking on prayers of Vidura, isn't it? Akrura. Oh, Akrura's prayers, right, sorry. Akrura's prayers. It's chapter number 40. Right?
38.
Oh, 38. Akrura's arrival in Vrindavan. You want me to cover just one chapter or the...
Yes.
Okay. All right. So there are actually 3 chapters there concerning Akrura. We have Akrura's arrival in Vrindavan, and then And you have Akrura leaving, taking Krishna and Balaram away from Vrindavan. And then you have the prayers offered by Vidura, Akrura rather, mix up. Akrura's prayers when they when he sees the spiritual world. So the arrival of Krishna, the arrival of Akrura in Vrindavan takes place at the request of Kamsa, our good friend Kamsa, right? Everyone loves Kamsa. And Krishna and Balaram were known to be expert also in wrestling. They'd wrestle with the cowherd boys. And so Kamsa was arranging a wrestling match for them. And at the same time, Kamsa had other events also arranged. There was going to be the elephant Kuvayapida, who was a particularly ferocious and nasty elephant. And the trainer was instructed that with Kuvalapida, they should kill Krishna and Balaram before they even entered the wrestling arena. So Kamsa was planning like this, and then he said, then I'm also going to kill Vasudeva, and because Vasudeva has cheated me, and I'm going to kill anybody else who opposes my rule. Like this, Kamsa was arranging everything for his rule over the kingdom. Of course, he was particularly concerned about Krishna because at the time of the marriage of Devaki with Vasudeva, at that time there'd been a prophecy that the 8th child of this girl is going to kill you. And so at that time, Kamsa was ready to kill Devaki, but by the political maneuvering of Vasudeva, it was agreed that they would give the children one after any child born to the couple would be given to Kamsa. And so by Vasudeva's political maneuvering with Kamsa agreed. He spared the life of Devaki. But then he put them in prison, and one after another, when the children were born, Kamsa killed them very cruelly. So now Kamsa, he had been trying to kill Krishna. He'd sent his different demon friends there all around Braja trying to kill Krishna and Balaram. But instead, one after another, Kamsa's different friends had all been killed. Putana and Trinavarta and Baka and Aga, one after another, they'd all been killed by Lord Krishna. So then Kamsa is getting anxious about his own situation, so he arranged for this wrestling match to take place at Mathura. And he asks Akrura that you should go there and bring them. Akrura is a devotee. He actually understands that Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram are divine personalities. So he's actually very pleased to get this opportunity to go there to Vrindavan. It's a great honor for him, not because he wants to serve Kamsa, but because he wants to get the blessings. He wants to fall at the dust. He wants to fall at the feet of Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. He wants that opportunity. He's very eager for that. So Kamsa tells him, I have a new chariot for you, all specially prepared for you to go to Vrindavan to bring the two boys. It should be a new chariot. You're not going to bring Krishna on some old chariot. One time, Prabhupada came in Hong Kong, and the devotee there, at that time it was His Grace Barijan Prabhu, very scholarly, very senior devotee. So he was preaching in Hong Kong in the early 1970s. So he'd arranged for a Rolls Royce to pick up Prabhupada. So it attracted the attention of the newspaper reporters that the Swamiji is coming in the Rolls Royce, and he was also given the penthouse suite in a nice hotel. Both the car and the penthouse suite hotel were the property of an Indian man and one of the life members, supporters there in Hong Kong. And so it was all given, it was all donated by the generosity of this one man. He was named Hari Lila. He's passed away now, but they were a famous family in Prabhupada's time in Hong Kong. He owned a big Holiday Inn hotel, and he had a Rolls Royce. And because Barijan and his wife had been preaching to their children, to the children from the family, and so the family were very favorable to Krishna consciousness. So they gave the Rolls Royce to go and pick up Prabhupada, and they arranged Prabhupada in a penthouse suite in the hotel. So the reporters all came, and they said to Prabhupada, they said, oh, you're a Swamiji, and you're coming in the big car, and you're living in this penthouse suite. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, if I was under a tree, you would not come to see me. On another occasion, when it was remarked that Srila Prabhupada had been received in a big car, Prabhupada said, the spiritual master is the representative of the personality of Godhead. And actually, you want to receive him, you should have it should be a chariot of gold. But said, anyway, whatever you offer, I'm accepting. So like this, Prabhupada was enlightening them. So Lord Krishna symbols which are there on the lotus feet of the Lord. Symbols such as the thunderbolt and the gold which is used to control the elephant, and the lotus flower and fish. These different symbols are all there. They're all auspicious markings on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So when Akrura sees these footprints in the dust, then he comes off the chariot and he rolls in the dust. He took that dust all over his body. And Srila Prabhupada tells us that when we enter Vrindavan, we should enter in this mood of Akrura, coming into the holy land of Vrindavan. It's not just simply purchasing a ticket, but we have to actually enter with the proper mental attitude. And that this mental attitude is best understood by how Akrura enters Vrindavan, how he's absorbed in thinking of his good fortune, that he's going to directly see the personality of Godhead. In this way, Akrura takes the dust all over his body and then proceeds into Vraja, and then he sees Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama ahead. They're milking the cow. They're going to milk the cows in the evening when Akrura reached Vrindavan. And Akrura is there just in time. The cows have come back from the forest, and Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram are just preparing to milk the cows when Akrura appears. And Krishna and Balaram receive Akrura. Of course, Akrura offers his obeisances to Krishna and Balaram. And Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram welcome Akrura into Vrindavan. And they're happy to see him. And they take him to their home. They take him to their home, and they give him some nice foodstuffs which have been prepared by Mother Yashoda. And Akrura is able to relax after his journey. And then Lord Krishna inquires from Akrura about, why have you come? What's the purpose of your visit? And at that time, then Akrura explains to Lord Krishna that King Kamsa has invited you to come to Mathura, and he's arranging this wrestling match. And when Lord Krishna hears, then Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, they laugh. They're not in any anxiety or worried about anything. When they hear about Kamsa, they know what Kamsa is like, and they know he must have some evil intentions. He's already committed so many atrocities, killing the children of Vasudeva and Devaki. And they've also seen the different demons who came there to Braja, and they can understand that these demons also are connected to King Kamsa. At any rate, Lord Krishna informs Nanda Maharaj that we're all invited to Mathura. So then Nanda Maharaj tells all the other men and all the cowherd men in Braja that you should prepare some goods. And when we go to Mathura, we can give offerings to King Kamsa. That's how they would pay their taxes. They didn't have rupees or anything, you know. They just give some butter or some milk or some yogurt or cheese, whatever. And in this way, they satisfy King Kamsa. So all the cowherd men, they're prepare themselves to go to Mathura. But the gopis are not going to go. This time, anyway, the cowherd men are going, cowherd boys are going, but the gopis, they have to stay back. They have to take care of the cows and take care of their children, and do all the things which the women have to do during the day, right? The ladies know so many duties are there. But for this wrestling match, the cowherd men are going to go. Later on, the gopis will get the chance to go and meet Krishna. That comes at Kurukshetra. When Krishna comes to Kurukshetra, after a long time, after Krishna had gone to Dwarka and married and everything, then he came back to Kurukshetra. So at that time, he sent a letter to Vrindavan and he told all the gopis that you come to Kurukshetra. He said, last time when I went to Mathura, you didn't get to come. All the cowherd boys came with me that time. So this time it's your turn and the cowherd boys can stay back. Let the cowherd boys stay back and take care of the cows, and the gopis can come to Kurukshetra. And so they get their turn to meet with Lord Krishna. But for the gopis, it's very painful, the thought of being separate from Lord Krishna. That Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram are both going to go to Mathura, and all Nanda Maharaj is also going to go there. The cowherd men, they're all going. The gopis, they cannot believe it. How will we ever live without seeing Lord Krishna? It's unbearable for us. The thought of Krishna departing from Vrindavan. So this, of course, is a very common scene, which is often depicted. Artists and so on, they like to draw the scenes of Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram on their chariot and going out of Vrindavan. And the gopis are trying to stop Krishna. They're trying to hold back the chariot. They don't want the chariot to go. Why? No, Krishna, just stay here. Don't go there. You stay with us. But Lord Krishna has to go. He has his mission to fulfill. We know from the Bhagavad Gita the purpose of the Lord's appearance in this world. Paritranaya sadhunam vinaschaya chaduskritam. So Lord Krishna has to go to Mathura in order to relieve the earth of the burden of demons like Kamsa. But it was not an easy thing. Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram both leaving the gopis. And the gopis are just unbearably painful for them. This pastime of Krishna leaving Vrindavan, in Chaitanya Lila, there's a parallel pastime, and that pastime is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Katwa, at that time he was initiated by Keshava Bharati into sannyas. So it was a very painful ceremony. Lord Chaitanya, no, we think, someone's taking sannyas, we think it's very good, very nice. But actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas, it was very painful. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, and the thought of him renouncing is not pleasing to devotees. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. As a young man, He took sannyas at the age of 24. And he was a young man. He had beautiful long hair, and it was all to be shaven off. So he was going to, and instead of wearing beautiful clothes as a young man, as a Grihastha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would dress very nicely, but he's accepting the renounced order of life. So he's going to accept very simple, plain cloth of the renounced order. So it was very painful. And the most painful thing was that because he's taking sannyas, he's going to leave home. And then they thought, we will not be able to see the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu anymore. Because he's taking sannyas, he can't go home because he has his young wife there, so he can't go back to see the wife. So the thought of him leaving all the devotees was very painful to them. And similarly, Lord Krishna leaving Vrindavan was very painful because the gopis had been enjoying wonderful pastimes, just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been enjoying wonderful pastimes with all the devotees. Every evening they were doing kirtan in the home of Srivas Thakur. The whole night they were having this nocturnal kirtan at Srivasangam. And similarly, the gopis, they were accustomed to enjoying every night in rasa dance with Lord Krishna. But Lord Krishna's leaving. The gopis used to, and they treasured every second seeing Krishna. They would watch him every day going into the forests of Vrindavan, herding the cows, and they would wait anxiously for him to come back in the evening. And in the evening, when he would return from the forest, it would be a festival, as he would hear Krishna playing the flute and coming with all the cows. All the gopis would assemble, and it would be like a festival as he saw Krishna come back again in the evening. And then in the night, they would go into the forest and they'd have rasa dance. But now Lord Krishna is going to leave. He's going to leave Vrindavan. And that is very painful for the gopis. So they come there and they watch Krishna get on his chariot. And one of the things which happened was that Akrura, who's the one taking him away, he didn't even offer any solace to the gopis. The gopis, they said, this man, his name is wrong, because Akrura means one who is not cruel. But this person's very cruel. He's the most cruel person. He's taking Krishna away from us. So they thought they were not happy with Akrura. And he didn't even comfort them. He should have at least told, don't worry, I'll bring him back very soon, don't worry. But he didn't say anything. And so later on, you see that there was some problem for Akrura. And later on, he had to leave Dwarka. And he had to go and reside in Benares. Oh my God. Benares is not a place for the devotees. Devotees of Krishna, we don't much care for Benares. It's more for the Shivites or the Buddhists. But that's what happened to Akrura. So the gopis assemble to watch Lord Krishna's departure, and they're watching, and they see the chariot go off, and it goes off into the dusk. The gopis are watching. For some time they followed, but then they could no longer keep following. They had to stop. And they saw Krishna's chariot go forward. And they watched. At one point, they could only see the flag on the top of the chariot. And then they could only see the dust. And then they could not see anything. But still, they were just standing there. They stood just like they were figures in a picture. Just like you can see this picture of Lord Chaitanya carrying Haridas Thakur and the devotees. They're not moving. Although they appear to be dancing, they're not actually moving. So figures in a picture, they don't move. So that when Krishna left Vrindavan, the gopis were standing like that. They were just like figures in a picture. They didn't move. They were just stunned into silence. They didn't speak to each other. They were just stunned. Krishna had been watching them and he'd been trying to make signs to them as he was leaving. He said, don't like that, don't worry. I'm coming back soon. He would tell them like that. He told them, I'm coming back. He just wanted to comfort the gopis, to give solace to them, because he understood how much love they had for him. And so he reciprocated with them. So in this way, Lord Krishna departed from Vrindavan, and then they came past the Yamuna river at one point, and Krishna and Balaram stopped the chariot, and they went to drink some water. Dusty, Vrindavan's always dusty, dry place, a lot of dust. And so they stopped to drink some water. And then Akrura also, after Krishna and Balaram went to drink water, they came back. And then Akrura said, I will just go for a minute. I will just take a bath quickly. And Akrura entered into the water. But when he entered into the water, he was surprised because he saw Krishna and Balaram there. And he was surprised. He thought, well, just a minute. They were on the chariot a minute ago. So he thought, maybe I'm illusioned. And so he went back to the chariot. And when he went back to the chariot, he saw Krishna and Balaram were there on the chariot. So he went back to the Yamuna again. And this time, he didn't see Krishna and Balaram. But what he did see was Anantashesha was laying there. And on top of Anantashesha was laying the personality of Godhead, with 1,000 heads and 1,000 arms. Must have been, we could say, the Mahapurush was laying there on top of Anantashesha. And they were surrounded by all of their intimate associates, like Nanda and Sunanda, and the Kumaras were there, and the great Brahmanas, and then also great demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. They were all there, and they were all offering their different individual prayers to the Supreme Lord. And so Akrura saw the Lord in this situation. He was very happy. Of course, it was very wonderful for him to see this. It was very wonderful. Akrura then, he offers his prayers. And seeing the Supreme Lord, he begins to glorify the Lord by speaking about how the Lord is the origin of everything, all of the different elements of creation, they all come from him. And actually, Brahma, Lord Brahma, is also the creation of the Supreme Lord, that he takes his birth from the lotus flower, which comes from the navel of the Lord. And that everything is ultimately coming from the Supreme Lord. And Lord Brahma, although we consider him to be something of a creator, he is actually only doing a part, the secondary part of the creation. He's the engineer, right? Maybe some of you are also engineers, right? Engineers, what do engineers do? You don't create anything. You just take the pieces and put them together, right? You get all the parts and put them together. So Brahma's like that. All the parts, where do they all come from? They're from the primary creator. The original creator is the personality of Godhead. So Akrura begins offering his prayers in this way, describing how the Lord is the cause of all creation and everything comes from him. And Lord Brahma can only understand the Lord if he is Krishna conscious. If Brahma himself is not Krishna conscious, even though he is the most intelligent being, he will not be able to understand Lord Krishna. He will not be able to understand the personality of Godhead. The Lord cannot be understood by the material senses. So in this way, Akrura begins to offer his prayers, and then he goes on to describe how everything in the universe is there part of the body of the Lord. From the Vishwarup, the universal form, that the hair on the body of the Lord are like the trees and plants, and the hair on the head of the Lord are like clouds in the sky. The rivers are like veins on the body of the Lord. The upper planets is the head. The earthly planets is his chest, and the lower planets are his feet. Different parts of the universe are all understood in relation to the body of the Supreme Lord. The rain is like the semen of the Lord, and the Lord himself, he is able to procreate everything by his senses, just simply by his own power. All of the different living entities all have some place there in the body of the Lord. The Brahmanas are like the head, the Kshatriyas, the arms, the Vaishya, the belly, the Sudra, the legs. So each and everything is there within the body of the Lord. Then Akrura goes on to describe how the Lord appears in so many different forms. And he mentions the different avatars which are described there in Jayadeva Goswami's Dasa avatars in Gita Govinda. And he mentions how the Lord appears in all of these different forms. He adds one more, who wasn't mentioned by Jayadev. He adds Haigriva. He says, Haigriva killed the demons, Kaitava and Madhu. Madhu and Kaitava. Yeah, they were killed by the Lord in the form of Haigriva. And all of these different incarnations like Matsya and Kurma and Nrsinga, these are all different forms which the Lord assumes for his enjoyment, for his pastimes. As the Lord Varaha, he can pick up the earth from the bottom of the universe. And as Kurma, he holds the Mandaratala mountain on his back, so the demigods and the demons can churn the ocean of milk. The Lord is assuming many different forms. Is it Lord Rama? He comes to kill the demon Ravan. And as Lord Krishna, he comes to display also the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he also expands himself as a Chaturvyuha, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, Sankarshan. These are all expansions of the Lord. Then Akrura goes on to describe how different people worship the Lord in different ways. For example, some people worship the Lord. Some people worship Lord Shiva, and they will worship Lord Shiva in their appropriate way. Other people, like the Brahmanas, they will worship the Lord by following the Pancharatriki system of worship. And other people, they will simply worship the impersonal, unmanifested aspect of the Lord. Many different people are all worshiping, but they're worshiping the Lord in different ways. But Akrura goes on to say, ultimately, all of these different methods, they all become one. He said, and he gives the example. He said, just like the water comes down the mountains in the form of rivers, and the rivers all flow to the sea. So ultimately, it all comes into the ocean. And he says, in the same way, different people who are worshiping the Lord in all of these different ways, ultimately it all merges, it all becomes one and enters into the ocean. Of course, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has described that there's Avidipurvakam. They worship him, but they do so in the wrong way. So even they're doing it in the wrong way, it's better than not doing it. They're doing something, and gradually one day they will learn what is the proper way. They just need that guidance. So in this way, Akrura is glorifying the Lord with his prayers. And then he explains, he said, everyone is bewildered by your illusory potency. Due to your illusory potency, we're all influenced by the concept of I and mine. We're thinking, I am this body and this is mine. And Akrura goes on to describe how he himself is guilty of this. He said, I identify with my family, my relatives, my wealth, my servants, my home. I'm thinking they're all mine, but they're all temporary. It's just a dream. They're not really mine, but this is my illusion. And this illusion is the potency of the Supreme Lord. So Akrura recognizes the problems which everyone faces in this material world, that we identify with things as being our own. We're thinking, first of all, the first mistake is to think, I am this body. And then from that one mistake, we go on to make another big mistake. We're thinking, this is mine. This belongs to me. These are mine, my children, my family, my relatives. But this is all just a dream. It's not actually factual. So Akrura is explaining like this in his prayers to the Lord. And then he says that just like a river of water or a lake of water, it may be covered by some vegetation. And because it's covered by some leaves which have grown over the water, you don't realize there's water there. But you go looking for water where there's a mirage. It's not water at all. It's a mirage, but we're thinking there's water there. And in this way, Akrura said, in the same way, he said, we're looking to other things instead of looking to Lord Vishnu, and instead of developing the love for Lord Vishnu, we're giving our love to so many things of the material world. We're giving our love to the mirage, to the illusion. And we're not seeing what is the reality, who is actually the reality. So then Akrura then prays to the Lord that you please protect me from this. You are the Supreme Lord. I take shelter at your lotus feet. Please give me protection. So Akrura is the Acharya in offering prayers. We know there are 9 processes of devotion, Nav Anga Bhakti, beginning with hearing and chanting and remembering. But Akrura is teaching us how to offer prayers to the Lord. It is said, by any one process, one can achieve perfection. Just like Sukadeva Goswami spoke this Srimad Bhagavatam, and simply by speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, he achieved perfection. Maharaj Parikshit simply heard Srimad Bhagavatam, and he became perfect. Prahlad Maharaj was expert in remembering, in fixing the mind on the Lord. And simply by remembering the Lord, he became perfect. Prithu Maharaj worshipped the Lord. And by his worship of the Lord, he achieved perfection. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, serves the lotus feet of the Lord, and achieved her perfection was in this way. Hanuman was the servant of the Lord. Arjuna was the friend of the Lord. Bali Maharaj surrendered everything to the Lord. And Akrura offered his prayers to the Lord. By praying to the Lord, we can also achieve perfection. So as members of our Krishna consciousness movement, praying is something which we do, which we are all doing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught everyone the importance of chanting the holy name. And we chant particularly the Maha Mantra, the 16 words of the Maha Mantra. The Maha Mantra is a prayer. We are praying, O Supreme Lord Krishna, O Supreme Energy of the Lord Hari, O Supreme Lord Rama, please engage me in your service. That is our constant prayer as devotees. Please engage me in your service. We want that ability somehow that we can serve Krishna. Please give me the strength to serve you. But at the same time, the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra is the answer to our prayers. And so this is the wonder of the Maha Mantra. that it's not only a prayer, but it's also the answer to the prayer, to our prayer. Because when we chant, we are engaging in service to the Lord. We were praying to the Lord, asking him for service, but at the same time, when we chant, it is the answer to our prayer. So in the most wonderful way, we're not just simply praying, but we're getting the answer to our prayer also in the chanting of the holy name. It is often said that of all the instructions given by the spiritual master, given by our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, the most important instruction is that we should regularly chant 16 rounds, a minimum of 16 rounds of the holy name. But it is also said, though, that in the chanting of the holy name, all of the 9 angas of bhakti are there. Because when we chant the holy name, we're not only chanting, but we want to also hear. And we want to also remember the Lord. In our chanting, when the chanting is done purely, then remembrance will also come. With first comes chanting. And then with chanting, we will hear. We start to hear. And when we hear nicely and chant nicely, we will remember. That remembrance will come. And then other processes of devotional service include worship of the Lord. By chanting the holy name, we're also worshiping the Lord. Lord Krishna is most pleased when we chant the holy name. He has said, Naham tishtani vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tishtani narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. The meaning being that Lord Krishna is saying that I am not in the Vaikuntha. I am not in the hearts of the yogis meditating on me, but I am wherever my devotees, madbhaktas, my devotees like Narada, where they are chanting my holy name. So we want to please Lord Krishna, chant his holy name. It is very pleasing to Krishna. It is also worship of Krishna. And it is also serving the lotus feet of Krishna when we chant the holy name in a humble state of mind. Then it is approaching the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. We are serving Krishna. We are giving service to Krishna by chanting his name. We are able to surrender everything through the chanting of the holy name. So the chanting of the holy names includes all the 9 angas of bhakti. Akrura offers prayers, and he is showing us how to offer prayers to the Lord. Generally, the system is that when we offer a prayer to the Lord, first of all, there should be some glorification of the Lord. And Akrura has done that in his prayers. Just like maybe you have a child and your child wants something. They want to get something from you. And so when they're clever, they don't just come and say, I want this. They will come and say, oh, you're such a nice mother. Oh, I love you so much, mother. And then, a lot of glorification. And the mother's thinking, oh, my child loves me. And then the child said, I want, and the child will say what they want. I want the new handphone for myself, like this. And so, in the same way, when we offer prayers, our prayers to the Lord, they should be done in a similar manner. Not that we just simply come and tell the Lord what we want, but there should be some glorification of the Lord. So Akrura has done that very nicely in his prayers. And he shows us how to worship the Lord, how to honor him. So Akrura has he had this difficult job to do. He had to go there to Mathura and take Krishna, to Vrindavan rather. He had to go to Vrindavan and take Krishna out of Vrindavan. Now, generally we say Lord Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So how is it possible that Akrura could actually take Krishna out of Vrindavan? So the Acharyas explained to us that what actually happened was that Shamsundar Krishna stays there in Vrindavan, and he hid himself in the hearts of the gopis. The gopis, they serve Krishna in the mode of separation. It's called a Vipralamba Seva. That in the mode of service in separation is greater than the mode of union with Krishna. Where there is some bhoga with Krishna, there's not so much appreciation, but when the separation is there, then one's attachment and one's longing for Krishna is greater. So Lord Krishna, by going away from Vrindavan, he's increasing the gopis' love for him. It's not that he's being cruel or unkind to the gopis, but rather he's giving them the chance to become more attached to him by separating himself from them. So Lord Krishna goes out of Vrindavan, and Shamsundar Krishna actually stays there in Vrindavan, but the Vasudeva Krishna goes with Akrura to Mathura. It's a Vasudeva Krishna to go to Mathura. It's Vasudeva Krishna who does the killing of the demons. Shamsundar Krishna is the form of Krishna who comes for the pleasure of his devotees. His devotees, like the gopis and Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. But the demons who have to be killed by Krishna, this is Vasudeva Krishna. There are two forms of Krishna, you see. The original form of Krishna, the complete form, is Shamsundar Krishna. And Vasudeva Krishna is the expansion from the Shamsundar form. The child who appeared in Mathura to Vasudeva and Devaki, that was Vasudeva Krishna. Vasudeva Krishna appears in the four-armed form, and therefore Vasudeva and Devaki, they also offer prayers when their child is born. They are seeing the Lord in his four-armed form, and they worship him and offer prayers. But the child who is born to Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, that is Shamsundar Krishna. And that is, you don't see Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj offering prayers to Krishna. They have a different rasa. Vasudeva and Devaki, their mode is worshipping the Lord with great reverence. Aishwarya, the mood of Mathura is more Aishwarya, but the mood of Vrindavan is sweetness, Madhurya. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami has written that Krishna is perfect in Dwarka. He is more perfect in Mathura, and he is most perfect in Vrindavan. So it's in Vrindavan where Lord Krishna displays his most intimate pastimes with his devotees. And he appears there as Shamsundar Krishna, where he enjoys the love, the pure love of his devotees. The Vasudeva and Devaki, they also love Krishna. They also have pure love for Krishna, but it's of a different degree. It's mixed with awe and reverence, because Krishna has come in his four-armed form, fully dressed with all ornaments and so on. But in Vrindavan, Krishna's just a cowherd boy, plays the flute, peacock feathers in his hair, covered with the dust of Vrindavan. It's a different mood. So in Vrindavan, it's all sweetness. And that sweetness, where there is sweetness, if there's opulence, then it won't be so sweet. Just like you may go to someone's home, they may be very wealthy. They have a very opulent mansion, so you're, you're afraid to touch anything because, everything looks so neat and so, but it's so opulent that there's no real feeling of home. It's not like a home anymore because it's just like a palace. You go in a palace, you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel relaxed. But there's so much opulence. So that is the effect of opulence, that it takes away the sweetness which is there in the rural atmosphere, in the countryside, in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, we see the perfection of this sweetness. How all the people, the gopis, the cowherd men, how they live together and how they all love Krishna. And they love the cows also. They're taking care of the cows and they just love Krishna. So that sweetness, that is something which we all long for. We want that peace, that sweetness. That is actually there with Krishna in the spiritual world. Just like Akrura said, that we're looking for love in the mirage, in the illusion of the material world. The real love is there with Krishna. Sometimes Prabhupada would say there's no love in the material world. There's lust. But love means to Krishna. It's Krishna who we love. We don't love the illusion. We don't love the dream. But we often make the mistake of thinking that's what we love. So to come out of the dream, this is Krishna consciousness. We have to revive our Krishna consciousness. We have to chant. We have to hear about Krishna. And gradually, we get our intelligence back. We get our memory back. Just like if you get a bump on the head. Sometimes you hit your head so hard, you lose the memory. And you don't know anything, you can't recognize anyone, you don't know your name, you don't know what happened. Sometimes people, they may have health problems, they go in a coma, they're in a coma for a long time, they come out of the coma, they forget everything. They don't know who they are, what happened. All has to be introduced to them again. So we're like that in this material world. We're all like coma patients, you see. We've forgotten our identity as spirit souls. We've forgotten our relationship with Lord Krishna. We have to come to the temple, we have to stand in front of the altar, and we have to hear, this is Krishna, he's the Supreme Lord, and we are his tiny servants. And by serving Krishna and by hearing about Krishna, gradually, we will get our memory back. We will understand our actual identity as spiritual beings. We all have an eternal relationship with Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, Jivar Swarupahai Nitya Krishna Das. Yes, we're Nitya Das. We're eternally the servants of Krishna. But we have also some ras also there with Krishna. Every one of us have some rasa with Krishna. It may be in servitude, it may be in fraternity, it may be in conjugal love, whatever it may be. There are different rasas, but we have some rasa with Krishna. First, we have to understand that we are servants of Krishna. To be the servant, that is the first thing. He is the master and we are the servant. As the master, everything belongs to him. Everything is meant for his pleasure. This is described for us in the Bhagavad Gita. In the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna gives us the peace formula. Bhoktaram yagna tapasham sarva loka maheshwaram suridam sarva bhutanam gyadva mam shantim richati. We want peace. You want to be happy? First you have to be peaceful. Then you can be happy. Without peace, there's no possibility of happiness. So the formula for peace is to understand that everything belongs to Krishna and that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. And he is also our very best friend. We have had many friends in the world. They come and go. Yeah. Different, maybe you're working in one job, then you change your job, you get different friends, right? Before you're married, you have friends. After you're married, you get different friends. Friends come and go. You're in school, you have friends, and you go to college, different friends. It's all changing, friends. But that one friend who's always with us, Lord Krishna, we've forgotten him. So coming to Krishna consciousness is to establish our relationship with Lord Krishna. And we can do that by regularly hearing and chanting, by regularly coming and taking part in the programs, and naturally we will awaken our true consciousness. All right, thank you very much. Maybe we'll take some questions. Anybody has any questions or doubts? Anything like to ask? Yes, Prabhu?
Mother, thank you so much for your question. So, there's one point that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So, we also see the pastime later, the gopis going to Kurukshetra, and we also Rath Yatra pastime is there. So, that's bringing back Krishna to Vrindavan. So, but technically, if we understand, is it Vasudev Krishna? So, could you please explain technicalities of this pastime with Vasudev Krishna and original Krishna?
Yes. Well, you pretty much mentioned it. You've mentioned it. As we said, Krishna came to Kurukshetra. So he's coming from Dwarka. So Dwarkadish, you could say Dwarkadish Krishna, Vasudev Krishna. He's coming from Dwarka with all of his wives, and he's coming to meet the gopis. And the gopis came to meet Krishna. And the gopis came to meet Krishna, but they saw that the Krishna is not the same, right? The Krishna they know is a different Krishna, because they know Krishna from Vrindavan, and now they're seeing Krishna, Vasudev Krishna. Of course, Krishna had gone to Dwarka, he'd married and so many things. And so he's coming from Dwarka, and he's got, the clothes of the prince. It's not like he's a cowherd boy anymore. Before he was a simple cowherd boy in a simple dress. Just like you come from the village, and then you go to work in Bangalore, you know, and you go back to your village after you've been living in Bangalore for a few years, you know, and and the people will say, "Oh, you look so different," yeah, you know. So in the same way it happened to Lord Krishna, you know, he went to Dwarka, and he came back from Dwarka. He came from Dwarka to Kurukshetra. And the gopis were coming from Vrindavan and they saw Lord Krishna and they're not so pleased. And Kurukshetra is also not Vrindavan. The mood is not the same. In Kurukshetra, there were military everywhere, the soldiers everywhere, the elephants, the chariots. It wasn't like in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, there's the Yamuna River and Govardhan Hill and the peacocks and the parrots and so on. But Kurukshetra, the mood is very different. So the gopis saw Krishna and they wanted to bring him to Vrindavan, as you said. Yeah, they want the Rati Atra, the mood of Rati Atra. Prabhupada said Kurukshetra is important for two things. One is the speaking of Bhagavad Gita, and the other is for Rati Atra, because the first Rati Atra took place there in the fact that the gopis, when they met with Krishna there at Kurukshetra, they have the mode of bringing him back to Vrindavan. So that was the original Rati Atra, to bring Krishna to Vrindavan. So Krishna came, Vasudev Krishna came, and the gopis, they want Shamsundar Krishna, they don't want Vasudev Krishna. And so they're thinking, we'll bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. And so when they go back to Vrindavan, then it's Shamsundar Krishna. Then it's no longer Vasudeva Krishna. And so the gopis, they're not interested in Krishna being a prince. They're not interested in the opulence of Dwarka. It doesn't mean anything to the gopis. They just simply want Krishna. They love Krishna as a cowherd boy. They love him playing the flute. They like to see him decorated with peacock feathers and with the different flowers from the forest of Vrindavan. They don't like to see him in all this opulence of the Prince of Dwarka. That is not what aspires and attracts the mind of the gopis. So the gopis, although they came to meet Krishna, that Krishna was not able to satisfy their desires. So then they brought him to Vrindavan. And then they can feel happy. Then they can feel satisfied. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would always perform Rati Yatra in that mood, the mood of bringing Krishna. Lord Jagannath would come out of the main temple and they would take him to Gundicha, the Gundicha temple, which is down the road from the Jagannath Puri temple, a few kilometers down the road. So Gundicha represents Vrindavan. Gundicha is also the heart. So bringing Krishna to Vrindavan. Yes.
One more continuing question, Madam, because we also see from Bhagavatam that Krishna in Kurukshetra goes and discussing with gopis. He has his personal discussion also. So does that mean that gopis will still not be satisfied with Vasudeva Krishna there, or how does their interaction? Because they have more intimate discussion in Kurukshetra with Vasudeva.
They have more intimate discussions with Krishna. So what's your problem? What you're concerned with?
So because they are completely attracted by the original form of the Supreme Lord, so how does their conversation, will that satisfy gopis completely, or still it will not satisfy them?
Well, Krishna satisfies them when he goes to Vrindavan. Without going to Vrindavan, they won't be satisfied. Yeah, they couldn't be satisfied in Kurukshetra. And they don't want Krishna to be there in Kurukshetra either. They want to bring him to Vrindavan. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, it's not related to the discussion today, but I wanted to understand. Like in ISKCON, we say that Vishnu is the avatar of Krishna, but other people think that Krishna is coming from Vishnu avatar. So I want to kind of understand how should we take this.
Yes. Well, you have to understand based on scriptural reference. In the scriptures, we're told that Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. In the third chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam is called the Bhagavad Purana, and it's the mature contribution of Srila Vyasadeva. And in that Srimad Bhagavatam, third chapter, Srila Vyasadeva, well, it's actually Sutta Goswami. Sutta Goswami is the narrator, and Sutta Goswami was narrating the different incarnations of Lord Krishna. He was narrating all the different avatars. And he narrated you see, the Vishnu avatars, they're the Purusha avatars. They're Purusha avatars. So there are three. There's Mahavishnu or Karanadakashai Vishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and Shirodakashai Vishnu. They're all Vishnu, but they're doing different functions. You have Mahavishnu or Karanadakashai Vishnu, who's in the causal ocean. And from the causal ocean, from the body of Mahavishnu, the universes are coming out. So he's the original cause of creation. You see? But then he expands himself into each universe as Garbhodakashai Vishnu. Garbhodakashai Vishnu. In the Garbo, the Garbo ocean, the Garbhodak ocean is the bottom half of the universe. In every universe, there's an ocean in the bottom of each universe. The universes have come out of the body of Mahavishnu. Just like sweat or perspiration comes out of our body. So from the body of Mahavishnu, the universes are emanating from his body. And then Lord Vishnu expands into each of these different universes. That's Garbhodakashai Vishnu. And then Lord Vishnu then expands himself further as Shirodakashai Vishnu, who is also the Paramatma in the heart of all living entities. So in this way, Vishnu is Purusha avatar, you see. But where does this Vishnu come from? You see, the Vishnu, he is the expansion from Lord Krishna. And this is described in Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma's prayers, he has realized this. He's seen all this. That Lord Krishna is the original Lord. And then Rupa Goswami, one of the direct disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's analyzed the different qualities of the different forms of the Lord. And he explains that although the Lord Krishna himself is an ocean of unlimited qualities, he selected some 64 qualities. 64 qualities. Now, from these 64 qualities which are fully present in Lord Krishna, he explains that a living entity like us, we are considered jivas. We can only have in our most perfect condition, we could have 50 out of 64 qualities. Now, on a higher level, Lord Shiva, he can have 55 qualities out of the 64. And Lord Vishnu, he can have 60 out of the 64 qualities. Lord Vishnu, there are 4 qualities which are unique to Krishna, which are not found in Lord Vishnu. First of all, Lord Krishna's flute playing, Venu Madhurya. Lord Krishna's flute playing attracts living entities all over the creation. Second quality is Rup Madhurya, the beauty of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is so beautiful that even Lord Vishnu aspires to see Lord Krishna. Even Mahavishnu wants to see the form of Lord Krishna. It's so attractive. And then also Rupa Madhurya, Lila Madhurya, wonderful pastimes. Lord Krishna performs the most amazing pastimes, which attract living entities everywhere. Pastimes like Rasa Lila. These are unique to Krishna. And then one more, Prema Madhurya, that Lord Krishna is always with his associates. So these are 4 qualities which are unique to Krishna, which are not even found in Lord Vishnu. And as I said, Lord Vishnu, he wants to see Lord Krishna. He aspires to see Lord. And there's a pastime which depicts this. There was one Brahmana who, his wife was delivering children, but she kept on having a miscarriage. So the Brahmana came to complain. He came to Dwarka to complain to the ruler of Dwarka that you're supposed to protect my wife. She's giving birth and she's having a miscarriage. You should be protecting her. It's your fault. You're responsible. And so at that time, Arjuna was present, and Arjuna was very concerned to hear the honor of the Kshatriyas diminished. So Arjuna vowed, he said, next time your wife has a child, I will be there and I will protect the child and I will make sure your child is delivered. And so then it happened that the Brahmana's wife again conceived a child and she's ready to give birth. And Arjuna was there trying to protect and make sure nothing bad happened, but still the child was a miscarriage. And so the Brahmana was very upset. And it was a very big problem for Arjuna, because Arjuna vowed he would give up his life if he could not protect the child. So then Lord Krishna came there, and Lord Krishna told Arjuna, look, you come with me, we'll solve this problem. And Lord Krishna took Arjuna on his chariot, and they went through the covering of the universe, and they went into the causal ocean, and they went to where Mahavishnu was residing. And they saw that Mahavishnu was there, laying on the causal ocean, and beside him were all the children of the Brahmana. That Lord Mahavishnu had been stealing all the children of the wife's Brahmana. He'd been stealing them. Why? Just so that he could meet with Arjuna and Krishna. So that even Mahavishnu wants to see the form of Lord Krishna. And also when we talk about rasa, when we talk about Lord Vishnu is worshipped with Aishwarya, with awe and veneration, because Lord Vishnu is so huge and he has 4 arms and he's so majestic, you know, that you're just filled with awe and reverence. And when Vasudeva Krishna appeared to Vasudeva and Devaki, they offered prayers. So with Lord Vishnu also, it's going to be Dasyaras. There's not going to be real friendship there, a little bit of friendship, but it's not going to be like Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna enjoys all the rasas. He enjoys, for example, the cowherd boys are climbing on his back and they're playing with him and wrestling with him. And Lord Krishna sometimes even being defeated by the cowherd boys in wrestling matches. And Lord Krishna has his parents, Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, how they are chastising Krishna because Krishna is a little child, and Mother Yashoda can bind up Krishna as she does in Damodara Leela. And then you have also this Madhurya Rasa. So these things are not there with Lord Vishnu. Even the goddess of fortune, you don't read about her Madhurya Ras with Narayan. You know, she's on the chest of the Lord, but she's more serving his lotus feet. Different rasa. The rasas are much greater with Krishna. With Vishnu, you don't get the same extent of ras. That's why we say Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from him comes Lord Vishnu.
What is one question online?
Well, man here has a question. We'll take his question first.
Adding to this, just one.
It's all one God. Just the names are different, functions are different, but it's the same Vishnu. It's the same Vishnu. One Vishnu.
It's a Mahavishnu.
Well, they're the same. Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. They're the same, just the location is different. If he's in the causal ocean, then it's Mahavishnu. If he's in the Garbhodak ocean, then it's Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. If he's in Sweta Dweep, then it's Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. But it's always Vishnu. Just like Paramatma, you know, how many Paramatmas are in this room? There's one Paramatma, right? Yeah, one Paramatma expanded everywhere. So Vishnu is one. But different functions, many different functions. Yes?
Jyoti Sachi Mataji is writing this. Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept normal obeisances. Did the gopis know that Krishna in Vrindavan is Shyamasundar Krishna and in Dwarka he is Vasudeva? And there are two different Krishnas.
Do the gopis know this? Well, Yogamaya is there, you see. The Yogamaya is there to allow the pastimes. Krishna arranges the covering of the minds of his devotees to allow more pastimes. So the gopis, they may know, they may not. Certainly they go to Kurukshetra, they don't think, oh, we're only seeing Vasudeva Krishna. They're all thinking we're going to see Krishna. It's one Krishna, but he's appearing in different ways, in different devotees. It's not that it's a different Krishna, but it's one Krishna, but he just reciprocating with his devotees in different ways. So the gopis went there. They were thinking Krishna. They were not thinking, they don't make any distinction, Shyamsundar Krishna, Vasudeva Krishna. They just know Krishna. And they know Krishna as the cowherd boy, as the son of Nanda Maharaj. So when they went there and they saw the mood is not the same. So then they saw it changed. Just like you come to Bangalore, you go back, you're not the same, right? You're still the same, but a little different. So Krishna is the same Krishna, but some different mood. So gopis prefer the mood in Vrindavan. Yes.
Krishna, thank you for the nectarine lecture. Maharaj, as you nicely mentioned about the different qualities, Brahma, Vishnu, and then Krishna. Worshipping wise, Maharaj, when we go to different temples, we go to Vishnu temple or we go to Krishna temple, then it is said that we should respect Sri Shiva, and Vishnu also has lesser qualities than Krishna. Then there in Vishnu temple, should we be worshipping or respecting? What should be our mood? While Krishna is the ultimate, we should be worshipping for sure.
Yes, well, our mood should be offering respects to these different personalities. At the same time, we can offer our respects according to their position. For example, we worship Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Nrsingadev is also Vishnu. And so when we worship Lord Nrsingadev, what is our mood in offering worship to Lord Nrsingadev? We consider him to be the avatar of Krishna, but certainly we give so much devotion. Many people have a lot of devotion for Lord Nrsingadev. They're very attracted to Lord Nrsingadev. It's very appealing to people. And so we offer our respectful obeisances and we offer our prayers and so on, as we've been taught by Prabhupada. We chant Nrsinga Stotra and so on. What should be our mood? Our mood is to submit ourselves. We can pray for example, to Lord Shiva being the greatest Vaishnava, but at the same time, he's also Guna Avatar, he's an expansion of the Lord. We can pray to him in different ways. We could pray to him, please engage me in, please help me to be a devotee as you're a great devotee, as you serve people, as you serve Lord Krishna, help me also to serve Lord Krishna. We can have a prayer like that, that please help me to overcome the obstacles in the path of devotional service. Lord Shiva is the master of ahankar. We can ask Lord Shiva, please help me to get rid of my ahankar, my false ego, which is obstructing my devotion to Krishna. You're the controller, please do this. When we go to the holy Dham, we go to Kshetrapal Shiva, we pray to Lord Shiva, please give us admission into the holy Dham to see the place where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Lord Krishna performed their pastimes. So according to the different situations, we will pray. Pray to Lord Shiva, pray to Lord Nrsingadev, pray to, we will always want to pray, please help me in my devotional service. Give me your mercy, give me your blessings, help me to destroy the obstacles in the path of devotion. Prahlad Maharaj in the 5th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj in the residence of Harivarsha, they're praying to Lord Nrsingadev, kindly vanquish our demonic-like desires for fruitive activities. Please appear in our hearts, drive away our ignorance, so we might become fearless in our struggle for existence in the material world. So Prahlad Maharaj is praying like that. Generally, I myself, I like to follow the prayers which are given by others, by the other acharyas. So Prahlad Maharaj is praying like that. We can use that prayer to pray to Lord Nrsingadev. Yes?
Like, I want to know that how you first met Prabhuji and first meeting with him, and what was his mood? And
Meet with Prabhupada.
yes.
Well, you have to understand that, when Prabhupada came to the temple, I was in the temple, I was living in the temple, I was one of the devotees. I was a very young devotee. I was very young and I was very new to Krishna consciousness. I really didn't know anything. And Prabhupada came. So I just tried to hear from Prabhupada. Prabhupada came, he was like, already mid-70s, elderly, and I'm 21 or 22, and I'm a very young person. I'd just been in Krishna consciousness a few months. So, what could I say to Prabhupada? So I just tried to offer my respects, and if there was any service to be done, then I tried to do whatever Prabhupada wanted. Yes, Prabhupada?
In the context of today, when we know that, Akrura already knew the positions of Lord Krishna and Balram, but once when he was actually in the bank of the Yamuna and when he had gone for bathing, and that time when he saw Krishna and Balram within the Yamuna, he was bewildered. So I just wanted to know, although he knew the positions of them as they were the supreme personality, why did that incident actually cause Akrura to go into bewilderment?
Well, I wouldn't say he went into bewilderment, but rather it was very joyful. Akrura became very joyful when he saw the Lord there in his form as Ananta Shesha, with the personality of Godhead and all of his associates, his eternal associates in the spiritual world. Akrura was so joyful, and that he offered his prayers with great joy. And actually what happened was, when he went back to the chariot, then Lord Krishna could see Akrura, and they saw that, he walked. And they said to him, what happened there, Akrura? Did you see something wonderful there? Did you see something wonderful in the air or on the land or in the water? And Akrura said to Lord Krishna, he said, my Lord, for one who has seen you, they've seen everything which is wonderful on the land, in the air, or in the water, because everything is coming from you. And for one who's seen you, there's nothing more wonderful to see. Once you've seen Krishna, then there's nothing else left to see. You've seen everything. So that was a Krura's mood after, it wasn't bewildering, it was a joyful experience. Yes?
Maharaj, I have a question. It is troubling me. So we see in this today's world that there's so much of chaos going on. There's war, and there's these scams, and it troubles me a lot. So how do I continue my bhakti even in this chaotic situation, and how do I can do some service, benefit this world by my bhakti? So I have this question keeps coming into my mind.
Well, we have to understand we're in the material world. This is a place of misery. There is going to be constant upheavals here in this world, and we have to expect that. But we have to understand also this is not our real home. And all of these things like wars and all the crises which come in the world, they're there just to tell us, to let us know this is not a place for any gentleman, right? Prabhupada would say to us, he said that just like you go in a public toilet, you don't loiter there. Just simply do your business and get out, So we come to this material world, just do what's required and get out, We should just want to put all of our energy and enthusiasm and into getting out from this world. Right? Don't come back. We have that book, The Science of Reincarnation, Coming Back, and the last chapter is called Don't Come Back. Because you come back, for sure, there will be only more problems. You're not going to solve all the problems of this place. There's going to be more and more problems as Kali Yuga goes on. So better we just go back to Krishna. One of our devotee ladies, one time I was there in New York, one of our devotee ladies, she had some illness and she knew she was leaving the body. And she said to Srila Prabhupada, she says, Srila Prabhupada, I just want to come back and distribute your books. But Prabhupada said to her, he said, that's okay. You just go back to God. You don't need to come back just to distribute books. Just go back to God. Okay, so you don't have to worry. Just go back to God. Yes. Okay.
I think the next program.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have to go. All right. So thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Holiness Bhakti Vinod Maharaj ki jai.
preaching, by organizing it nicely. So we request all of you to please volunteer. Kartike Prabhu every day sends this messages that how many days are left, and I said yesterday that it raises my blood pressure higher, that days are decreasing, and we have to arrange more and more things. So here today message says that we have 12 days to go, right? So request everyone to come up. All of you have really contributed a lot, but there is no cap to our salary increment, right? We always want more and more salary increments. Similarly, Krishna also wants more and more, you know. So Maharaj is leaving us. He's going for other programs, so he'll chant again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So we request all of you to come forward. We have given receipt books to many devotees to please collect more donation from your friends, colleagues, corporate friends. Yesterday, someone was asking me how should we collect donation from corporate. So you need to be a little careful. We have to be practical because some of the companies do have their ethical guidelines that they should not be doing religious things. So in corporate world also only from your friends. Right? Don't go all out and risk your jobs and all. And we have to be careful. But yeah, you can go shop to shop from friends, relatives. Please ask them. And don't become like too pushy to anyone. Right? We have to be respectful. We primarily want them to come to our program, participate in different things like kids competition, cultural events are there, and palki and stuff. So everyone has a flavor to enjoy there with different stalls there. Then deity worship is there, Abhishekam, Pushpa Abhishek, Archana is there. So everyone has something to relish there, and then finally there will be prasadam, different delicious prasadam. So request all of you to please come forward and support us. Today we will be going for promotion activities. There will be a Nagar Sankirtan starting at IBC at 6 p.m. And there are also some other devotees going to different places, like I think so Vaishnavi Forum will be going to Marathalli Bridge. So if you want, we can all spread out. There is a group also going to DMart, Vijay Narasimha Prabhu, because yesterday we had a really great Saturday. We distributed almost 2,500 pamphlets in the evening itself. And Mataji also went during the daytime to some other places and they distributed another 1,000. So yesterday, I think so we distributed almost 3,000, 4,000 pamphlets, which was a big, thanks to all the volunteers who are supporting. We are also placing the A4 size glossy pamphlets of our Janmashtami in apartments. So if any one of you are living in different apartments where we can place them, the notice board to get attention of the residents there, then please come forward and ask us, and we will, we had printed almost 100, and I am just left with 2 of them. So almost 98 have already gone. So we'll be printing today again 100, and we want to spread it to everyone in this area that we are celebrating Janmashtami, and we want to welcome all of them. So I request you to do that. We also have VIP invitation cards. So if, for example, an apartment which has sort of 100 flats, or if you know someone who is in very important dignity, we give that VIP card to you. You can go and invite them personally. Make sure that when they come, they are also, welcomed by someone. And we'll give them opportunity to do archana or something, if Abhishek is going on, or some special prasadam, right? So we have to basically welcome everyone, respect them, and make them feel at home, and which is how they are going to take Krishna consciousness. That is the main aim. Aim is not to get money and not to get their attention or something. Main aim is then for us is for them to come closer to Krishna, right, and transform their lives. You should always keep this one thing in mind, that our aim is to help them, right? Don't feel that, it is just to ask money or just to get them in. Always remember. So you have always have to be very courteous, very loving, very caring, very respectful. Right? That should be our aim. Okay. Any other announcement anyone wants to add on? anything, any leaders who want to announce anything? Okay, so with that, now we'll move on to our next program, which is Narasimha Arati, and thereafter there will be Prashadam Sarvai.
आप जाएंगे?
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste सर्व भक्त विद्या शिक्षण श्री भगवान की भक्ति शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की Hare Krishna. So altar will be open for another 5 minutes. So devotees can take darshan. And Prasada will be downstairs. In that floor. In that floor. Yes, in temple hall. No downstairs, noise. Prashad Lani. Sachin, go. Prashad.